Hey everybody, what's going on? Bogi here, and as promised, I am back for part 2 of my review of the new 3M Performance Spray Gun and Complete Spray System. Now I do have to say that this is a sponsored video, however all of the views and opinions are mine and mine alone, and I promise to give you my honest and genuine feedback. Now, if you missed part 1, the link will be in the description down below, and I definitely recommend checking that out because I go into a ton of detail on the overall system, how it works, things that I like about it, and a pretty deep comparison between the new 3M Performance Spray Gun and the old 3M AccuSpray system, which was really cool in a lot of ways, but I didn't really like the way it delivered as far as results on spraying color and spraying clear. Is great for all of the other products, but color and clear I didn't really like the results. Now I'm being told that this new performance spray gun is a much more professional level of gun and delivers much higher quality results. So at the end of the day, we got to get this out there and we got to test it to see how we feel about it. I can like it all day long as far as look and feel and concept goes, but until I see how it actually sprays, the jury is still out. So without further ado, enough of me blabbing. I've got this all set up with my pressure regulator and airline fitting, so let's get some product mixed up and get to testing this thing. All right, got color mixed up and ready to go on the gun. Kind of nice thing that you can just mix your paint right in the PPS cup. It's got all of the measurements for it, and then use one of the sealing plugs to shake it up and mix it up, and then just install the tip to, or connect the tip to the lid, and you are ready to spray. And then when I'm all done with this, all I'll need to do is unscrew this, release it, and you'll see that the only place that paint is right on that very tip. So just clean that and I'll be ready to move on to another product. So, but I'm ready to spray with this. And ready to go. Now this is your fan control and this is your paint volume control. And then of course we have our air pressure regulator. Now 3M on this particular gun recommends that as a starting point, you start out with a fan control setting of 2 revolutions from the closed position. So 1 and then 2. And then 4 revolutions from the closed position on the volume. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and starting with an air pressure of 20 psi. For this purpose right now, I'm going to start with our fan control all the way in, just barely open, and our flow control turned down a little bit, so that we can see the full range of how much fan control we have from small to large just on a piece of paper. The adjustment knobs are really smooth. It's really easy to adjust. And I just kind of wanted to show you an idea of the range of spray pattern, and it's comparable to any professional gun, so that's definitely a positive thing. For the first test, just a pre-prepped piece of metal that we use for training purposes at the shop. You can see the color lays down really smoothly and has a pretty nice result. We'll see how it flashes out in a little bit. Second test, I've got this spare panel. We have a bunch of these for training purposes. It's obviously been painted several times and is not in the best of shape. Now, I'm relatively new to painting, and in all honesty, this was my first time spraying anything metallic. So while I'm impressed so far with how the gun's performing, I'm not so impressed with my performance. A little streaky for this first coat. Metallics are definitely going to take some getting used to. My second coat was also pretty streaky. Hey, I'm a mechanic, not a professional painter. I will freely admit that. But overall, it laid down really nicely despite my lack of skills. And once it flashed off, it was really smooth. This is definitely a huge improvement over the AccuSpray system. So because I'm not the best painter, I figured I'd bring in somebody who actually is. So this is my good friend Frank Estrain. Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah. So Frank is actually the guy who taught me how to spray in the first place 4 years ago, and he's a 34 some
Right around
odd
there, yeah, absolutely.
year veteran. So he can speak to the kind of the professional end, so I thought I'd bring him in and see what he thinks of this spray gun and give you guys his feedback as well. So you haven't played with this thing either, right?
I have not. This is brand new to me also. I saw it first last year at the end of the year.
Yeah.
But then it's the first time I've actually held it, and actually I have a demo product, and
Nice.
so we were going to use it. So
How does it feel? You like it right off the bat, or?
well, I was a skeptic, kind of still am, right? But
Yeah.
the more I look at it, the more it really looks like it will do a good job. I mean, there's a lot of different size tips and needle and nozzle sets.
Totally.
And so I think it may perform good.
Yeah.
So
It's light. It feels
is.
good.
It is very
I
light.
like that.
Yeah.
But as you can see from my spray results, they're like meh. But that's because I'm meh as a painter, right? So now we get to put it to the real test and see how a professional does and what he thinks of it. So you ready to dig in with it?
let's do it.
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's not bad
No, not at
as
all.
far as like skill level goes. I think I went a little heavy in a couple of spots, and I haven't cleared it yet. So
It is nice and smooth though.
I did okay.
Yeah, and it's actually uniform, nice. And you obviously used.
I used the new gun, and as a testament to the gun, I also forgot to clean it. So the good news is with these, because I'm an idiot and I forgot to clean it, right? All I have to do is just clean that,
Absolutely.
and I didn't ruin the gun.
Not at
So
all,
it's
yeah.
perfect for people who are forgetful like me.
If you do clean them though, I think you have 15, up to 15 uses
Oh, that's cool.
with this cap.
That's not bad at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. And I just dripped all over myself.
That's a professional right there.
Like a pro.
What happens to everything.
All right. See, this is what I get for getting excited, showing off my work to my mentor.
No, but it actually looks really good.
It did okay?
How did it feel?
It felt really good. I think I went heavy in a couple of spots.
It doesn't look
And
like
between
it.
the montage and my yellow, we always did solid colors, no metallicness. So that was a different experience too. As I was spraying it, I was like, oh, that's different.
Yeah.
Because I've never sprayed metallic.
There's a little bit of a different application with the metallic to get it to uniform, to level nice, all those things. And it looks like we've done a pretty good job. So.
Yay! So I passed.
And you as well. Yes.
Thank you.
That's good.
All right.
Good
So I guess
job.
my results weren't that horrible.
No.
That's good news.
Absolutely. Looks good.
And we'll give the gun the credit.
Yeah.
And your teaching and instruction.
And maybe we can try some more.
Yeah, we're gonna do some more. We're gonna see how impressive of a result we can get from a professional.
But this looks really nice. It looks good.
Got another random panel prepped out for Frank, and he's putting sealer down first. So in addition to his skill level, I think we'll see a difference in the results from that.
It's easy to install. The control was nice, the movement, it was smooth, right? So it actually looked really good. Felt good too. And it is very light. I'm actually impressed. It actually sprays really nice.
It flashed out really beautifully.
It's nice and smooth.
Very smooth. Especially considering the panel itself started out crappy.
Sure.
This looks beautiful.
Absolutely.
You feel like comparable to a professional spray gun?
Absolutely. I mean, 3M makes a lot of professional equipment,
Yeah.
abrasives, and now paint guns too. So I think it would do pretty good. Being honest, the plastic part, right?
Right.
Can't get it through my mind, but until you use something, the performance, then it shows for itself. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, on paper, right, it's like it's way less expensive.
Sure.
Definitely when you consider like 6 guns versus buying one performance spray gun kit, like it's way less expensive. So there's this part of like, well, if it's that much less expensive, can it deliver the same results? And like, I get your skepticism, I totally do. I'm pretty impressed with it overall though.
Right. And with the versatility of the tips and the size of needles, I mean, you could have a new gun
The system definitely makes it really easy to switch from one product to the next. Now, for those who are interested, this is a 1.4 tip that he's spraying the base coat with.
Yeah.
It really is nice. You done good, 3M.
Right?
And you too.
Yeah. We can make anything look good.
You can make anything look good.
While the gun is applying the product, when you tap it, if it feels gritty or dry or smooth. When it's smooth, that means the gun applied it pretty nice. So try it. It's kind of right there.
Yeah.
It actually feels pretty good.
It does feel pretty smooth.
This one's I
That
think
feels
this
really
is
smooth.
smoother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's smoother than yours.
You apply it. Now, if you think about it, did you apply it wetter than
I probably did apply wetter.
Absolutely. Good job, Bogi.
Alright, let's get some clear on it. See how it looks. Sweet.
So what'd you think? I'm asking you.
Right? I mean, I'm kind of impressed with it, to be honest. I'm not the best sprayer in the world. I will freely admit that, right? I have 4 years of experience, and like that's super intermittent experience. And I think honestly, like it came out way smoother than I expected it to.
Yeah.
Definitely outperformed the AccuSpray. Like the AccuSpray, my biggest complaint was that it didn't. It said primer good, it said epoxy good, it said high fill or high build, but it didn't like. I didn't like the way it did color and clear, and so this was like the real test for
The
me.
atomization.
So I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I agree.
You were a skeptic.
I think I still am, but getting it in my hand, working with you with it, I mean, I think that the more we use it,
Yeah.
I think the better it's going to do, right? And not be the skeptic anymore, right?
Yeah.
So
is your
again,
skepticism about like the longevity of the gun?
I think so.
Because you seem pretty impressed with the results of how it sprayed.
I think that what we do need to do is follow the instructions, right? As use the tip, the cap for only 15 uses.
Right.
Right? And change it after that.
Yeah.
If it gets dirty, if you don't clean it, then change it more often.
Yeah.
If you clean it and you're one of those people that absolutely has a spotless gun, then it may last longer, but follow that direction.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to work really well.
Yeah.
So
Did you like the results that you got
I
from
did.
spraying it?
I really did. I as you were spraying, as I was spraying, I was looking at the fan pattern.
Yeah.
And it actually had a really nice pattern, right? At the atomization, just like any gun,
Yeah.
right? More air pressure, it'll atomize better. Less air pressure.
Yeah.
I think it works well. The starting point that 3M is recommending, which was what?
It was two open on the fan, 2 revolutions on the fan, and then 4 revolutions on
For
the
material
volume, material volume, and then 20 psi on the gauge.
It's
And
definitely
we wound
a
up
good
bumping
start.
it a little bit
Yep.
on the pressure for when we did clear, and then our second coat of color
as well.
we bumped
just
it up a little bit. And I think that helped. I think that you got a much smoother finish, at least visually smoother finish than I got, and I kept it at the 20 when I did my color.
Right. And it is cooler, right? As the
Right.
weather changes, all those things, and we just need to make those minor adjustments.
Yeah.
But I like it. It's light. It
Yeah.
works great with the 2.0, the
Totally.
liners and all that. So
I like how easy it is to clean.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
was a little bit nervous because the AccuSpray ones, the whole thing is clear.
Mm-hmm.
So when you clean it, you know that the whole thing is clean.
Right.
But honestly, there's so much visibility, and they cleaned out super easily. So I'm not concerned about that anymore. These cleaned out really nicely.
And they actually were clean
Yeah.
before you cleaned them, right?
Yes.
So they were already clean.
And then, like this, I literally just pulled it off, right?
Uh-huh.
I just pulled it off wipe this down with the tiniest little bit of
Yeah.
acetone or paint thinner or whatever. Acetone? I don't know why I said acetone. I meant paint thinner.
Yes.
And it's like I'm done,
Yep,
which is perfect for
good.
me and my scatterbrainedness.
absolutely. And then reuse it, right?
Yeah.
Reuse it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. The lightweight is nice, right? The application of a new cap
Yeah.
is easy.
So you've been
Right,
in the
so-
you've been in the field obviously a whole lot longer than I am. You've been a production painter. You've been I mean now you're instructing and teaching and doing a ton
Right,
more. But
right.
you've been on the line essentially.
Right.
Do you feel like the quick change ability of it and being able to switch it over from gun to gun, like from one product to another really quickly? Do you feel like that would make a difference for a production painter?
Absolutely. I think that, you have, I think we briefly talked about it, is you have one gun, one body,
Right.
and then you have 6 guns.
Yeah.
Right, with a different size, needle, and actually needle's the same, but the nozzle
But the
size on
nozzle,
the
yeah,
cap.
the atomizing.
Yeah, and so you can instantly, I guess, quickly
Yeah.
change that to a different gun, right?
Yeah.
So sealer, base coat, if like we do here in Arizona, it's hotter, it's cold, we require different size, tips.
Yeah.
And so you can do that fast with this, right? Like, no problem, right? And so it's nice, it really is.
So a cautiously optimistic
Cautiously.
from a pro.
Exactly, right? The more you use something,
Absolutely.
the better you get with it and all those
But I'm
things.
going to count this as a win because he
Absolutely.
came in
I
super
agree.
skeptical and he came in like, there's no way that a gun that's made out of plastic, that's this light, that's this inexpensive, is going to be able to perform and deliver professional results. And the results that we got, like, that's professional level.
Absolutely.
Quality is.
Absolutely. Well, and you have to remember too that 3M does a phenomenal job with anything they make,
Yeah.
right? And so at that point, I guess you just have to try it, right? And then you'll be okay.
Yeah. So if you guys
absolutely.
try it, let us know because we want to hear about it. We've got a skeptic over here who is cautiously convinced that this is going to deliver the professional level results
Absolutely.
of a professional gun. And now you could see like what the output is for somebody who's not so experienced, the output of somebody who is really experienced, and what that difference looks like. And I think they both turned out really good, especially
They did.
considering we're not in a proper paint booth here, right? And so we got a little dirt in it. We got a little,
bit, yeah.
so considering, and it was cold back there.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pleased with it.
Me too. I actually we had good results.
Yeah.
It looks really good. So
So functionality, it's a win as far as the weight of it, the ease of use, the quick changeability, the conceptually, like the idea of all the different tips, huge
Yeah.
win. And now we have spray results and we can say
it worked.
it works.
Absolutely.
We're good with it. From the novice hobbyist, I don't know if I'm a novice. I'm in between land.
You're in
I'm not a newbie, but I'm certainly not a pro. And
You're getting
34-year veteran.
Absolutely. Yeah. So good results.
Good results. We approve. If you try it, let us know. Definitely want to hear about it. And if you have questions, if you have comments, leave them down below. Would love to hear from you about it. If you like this video and you want to see more stuff like this, make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe, and we're going to go play some more. We'll see you guys
That's
later.
right. See you guys. Thank you.